Don't you know who it is? We have Crypto Wendy O. We've got Litecoin Lisa. This is Crypto, brought to you by Soul 70. How are you guys?
Hey Soul, thanks for having us.
Oh, it's
I'm
wonderful.
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me. And I love Lisa. Lisa's awesome. I think we met once or twice, Lisa.
Yeah, well, I think twice, Philadelphia, and then also in at the Litecoin Summit.
Yes, those are fun. The Litecoin Summit was so much fun. You got to meet my daughter too, right?
Yes, I got to see little O.
Yeah, she's a firecracker.
Horrible. Yeah,
I love hearing about her on Twitter.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun to introduce our kids in a way. Today I put my wedding dress on her and she just had a ball in it and she made some really cute pictures, but I kept those private.
yeah, I understand that.
Yeah,
That's
completely understandable.
today with we're so used to Facebook and sharing our family and our kids and our lives, and then you get in this other space and to know where we're going. Maybe we should be a little more cautious. I really respect that you always put a little heart or something over her face.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my baby, so I got to keep her safe. And I love her so much. She's just fun, and I can't help but share her with everybody just because I'm so proud of her, and just because she's fun. Like she does a lot of really really cool stuff that it's not really like that's not typical for like a 3-year-old. So I'm like I gotta share. Like we do this thing now where we call each other Barb.
At least it's not Karen, right?
Well, she called me a Karen the other day. I don't think she knew what it meant, but I joke around and I call my dude, he calls me Karen like as a joke and stuff like that. And it just we joke around over here.
That's good. Good to stay light in these times for sure.
So, as crypto influencers, how would you guys describe yourselves? Like, is there any kind of niche or is there any kind of crowd that you guys are trying to cater towards?
Wendy O, you want to go first?
Sure. So me, I do things a little bit differently on my social media. I actually never planned to be an influencer. I just thought I was going to finish school because I was in school full time after I quit my job in healthcare. I thought I was just going to trade and like hang out and stuff. And then my channel grew or my audience grew. I didn't know how. I still don't know why I have followers, but people I follow me, I guess they like my content. But my stuff is a little bit different because I'm not the typical influencer, I guess. Like I post really what's on my mind. Sometimes I talk about things that are near and dear to me. Like you'll see me hashtagging save the children, that type of stuff. I talk about my work I did in healthcare. I actually legitimately do care about people, which is kind of why I love being in crypto, is because I get to really help people out and talk to people and stuff. Cause I did that when I was in healthcare. So my brand, I guess my brand is a little bit different than like some other people. And I mean, each their own, but I do lots of trading and I do like YouTube stuff. I try to do like tutorials and try to post like helpful content to people. And sometimes people they don't like it, but I don't know. I can't be anything but myself.
Great answer. Great answer. How about you, Lisa?
Well, I love watching Wendy. I'm not brave enough to trade. I got into this space just in 2017 and have a whole story about that. But just really wanted to add to the community and feel like there's so many different people that we can all affect. And so I kind of pull a Wendy and I'm just my authentic self and I share the things that I'm learning and I try to help others along the way. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to bring to the space.
Yeah, Lisa, I noticed you post like a lot. You're very much like yourself. It's not like you have a script or anything, and you post stuff that's like important to you. Like you do a lot of like educational stuff. And I noticed some of your interviews, they can get a little bit like political and stuff like that. And I respect that. I think it's awesome because when you think about it, the politics, it kind of ties into what we're doing in crypto.
Yeah, having the freedom of speech. I mean, I had a really great interview with a guy about with Goldcoin, and he talked to me about Bitcoin is actually a form of speech because it's a language, it's code, and so because of that, it's actually protected under the Constitution. And I don't know, all that kind of went. And when I say I'm political, I'm opinionated, I'm political. I feel like what I'm saying is out of love because I care for the people that are watching and I want people to know what I believe. It doesn't mean that I can't hear another side or another point or that I think that I'm right all the time, but I really do want to share the things that I'm learning because it did dramatically change my life when I got into crypto and helped me see a lot of the things I just was blindly going along with. So thank you, Miss Wendy.
Yeah, I know myself. I try and think back. What was my life even like before I got into crypto? And it had to have been completely different than right now, right?
For sure, especially with what we're going through right now with COVID and job loss and just the way you prioritize things, not just money or investments, because to me those are just tools, but the time we spend with our family and our friends and all that, I think it's all changed.
Is there any kind of content that either of you try to provide your viewers, anything specific? I know, Wendy, you had mentioned trading.
Yeah, so I do a lot of trading on my show. I don't do a whole lot of live trading because I like to keep my stuff private. Like I'll tell you guys right now, when I margin trade, I trade with like $200 to $300 positions. When I spot trade, it's bigger. It's a couple $1,000s or whatnot. When I trade alts, it's anywhere between like $200 to $1,000 depending on what it is. Except my ETH. My ETH bag is a lot bigger. So I don't really do too much live trading because I know that can be a security thing and whatever. But my channel is really kind of breaking some of these complex things down very easily. I do a lot of different interviews. I think I want to say I've interviewed over 100 different folks in the space, like CEOs and founders and stuff like that, people from projects. And when I do those, I don't talk about price because price isn't really relevant when you're doing an interview. It's more about the fundamentals. That's what's important to me. And I try to break these things down as easy as possible for brand new people. So they come to my show, they watch like a 10-minute interview on the project, like, oh, this is really cool, or oh, I don't like this is a scam. So that's what I kind of try to do. I try to get all these things and break them down as easy as possible. And now I'm doing like a lot of stuff on TikTok, because TikTok, it gives you like a minute to make a video. So I'll talk about like DeFi, I'll talk about like DEXs, I'll talk about Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, and like, just different, like I talked about VPNs the other day and how Ledger is essentially a third-party device. So just little tips and tricks for people that I post on my socials.
I think that's really interesting, especially the TikTok thing, like being able to make information concise and in a small enough time frame that they can still conceptualize the idea. I think that's definitely the way things are going.
Yeah, it's hard though, because it's like you've got like 60 seconds to break something down, and Lisa's probably like, I know, because like you have to talk about blockchain, you got to talk about the project's fundamentals, or like, if you want to transfer coin X to exchange X, like stuff like that. It's hard to break that information down. And I'm small beans on TikTok. I think I've got like 500 followers or something, but it's cool because I can, the way the platform is set up, I can pull that content and put it on YouTube or put it on Twitter. So I have like a beginner's thing for people, like videos under like a minute, just because I want to make it easy for folks.
I think that's a great thing to have a library like that. I know when I go to talk to people about cryptocurrency or even just our current financial system, I start using words that are really common in the crypto space, and I lost them. They're like bananas and chandeliers. I don't know. You said something like, and so being able to have like that little urban dictionary for crypto and creating a library for that. So do you have that like on a playlist on YouTube that I could share with people?
Yeah, so I'm actually just starting to build it, because what I noticed I was doing in my news videos, I was dropping a lot of knowledge, but it's like I wasn't titling my news videos in that. So what I have now, it's called like a TikTok's basic. And so like I'm looking at it right now. I've got one on why you shouldn't trade on Robinhood, decentralized versus centralized, Bitcoin Lightning Network, how to stake under a minute, VPN basics, the most profitable trading setup. So I've got a couple videos, and I'm still compiling stuff. So I'll be doing more and more as time goes on, but I'm trying to keep the things as simple as possible. And because I'm not a tech person myself, like not a tech person at all. So it's hard for me to kind of, when I'm talking about these things, because I can understand them in my head, but when you're speaking to when you have to actually explain what blockchain is to somebody else, or how Bitcoin works to somebody else, it's kind of like, okay, how do I make them understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And sometimes simplifying it is
hard.
Yeah. It is hard, but I think back to like I had a big aha moment when I think about tech and Bitcoin and how secure it is and whatever. But part of the reason it's so secure is because it's so simple.
Mm-hmm.
If this, then that. And there's
That's true.
Truth. And so I thought back to, I'm much older than you two, but I took a basic coding class when I was in high school, I think. I don't know. Maybe it was middle school. I don't remember. But a long time ago. And basically that's all it was. If this, then that. If this, then that. And I thought, oh, well, that's why it's so secure, because it can only be the truth to make it confirm.
Yeah, that's really powerful.
Math is awesome. It's very hard, but it's awesome.
Oh God, the other day I spent like 3 hours trying to recalculate stuff with my other business, and math is really a struggle for me.
I hear you. I took like 8 or 9 math classes at community college because at the time I wanted to be a bio major, and I just remember like, oh my God, like why do we have to do it this way? It just didn't make sense. And it's like, it's all about repetition.
Definitely.
So Lisa, I know as far as your content goes, you've been kind of doing more of like a schedule throughout the week, kind of daily videos. Can you talk about those?
We're building my channel. I'm trying to be open and fluid to what the community wants and what is bringing value. And so we have a Mom in It Monday, which is Crypto Mame, and I adore her. She writes a lot of articles for different publishings about cryptocurrency and things that are going on. So I feel like that's kind of a great way to start off the week with some crypto news. And then on Tuesdays, I have my New Truth Tuesday, and I met Amy Fulmer actually through Bix Swear. She was watching his video and saw me chatting on it, and she felt drawn to reach out to me. And then we found out we had something in common, that we're both angel moms. We both lost a child, and she actually wants to she wrote a book and wants to get the word out to help families that are grieving. And so she's on there. And then from that, we've kind of gone down a whole rabbit hole of more political discussions a lot of times, but also want to do that grief work and provide those resources for families. That there's so many different situations, and even what we're going through now, we're kind of grieving our past. I called the show The New Normal, because I feel like that's where we're kind of going into finding out this new normal. And when I first lost my daughter, I kind of felt like I lost a body part, and what was my new normal moving forward from that. And then from that, this show came along, and so it's been kind of part crypto journey, part just moving forward in life during this time. So then on Wednesdays, we have Woo Woo Wednesday. I had you guys know Public Awakening on Twitter, and he asked me if I would consider, and it's something that personally I had been dipping my toe into, but I hadn't been public about it. And so then when he pursued me and asked to come on, I just felt like it was the right thing to do. And we've had a lot of really great content. I've learned a lot. I hope my community has learned a lot. We talk about Nasera, Jacera.
I know I've learned a lot from that show.
Woo woo. Yeah. There's been some crazy stuff lately. I mean, if you guys follow Santa Surfing, she's asked people, like, as you get your mortgage forgiven. So people are sending her screenshots where their mortgages says 0. And we have had some weird things with credit cards lately, and got like a new credit card just digitally, but they've never sent a card, and it has a 0 balance, but it shows all our regular transactions. Like, there's some really wild stuff going on that we're all figuring out. And with the QE and everything going on, I don't think people really understand how quickly the dollar is going to be at 0 and what that does to the debt and our economy and all that. So that's our Woo Woo Wednesday, and we get into more spiritual things. He's an intuitive and able to sense some things and help some people with health issues and some business things that he's been working on. So we do that on Wednesday. And then recently Johnny Litecoin has agreed to partner with me on Thursdays, and we're going to talk about a lot of the transaction, and he's a payment specialist, digital payment specialist. And so talking about how transactions and banking and all of those issues, kind of that behind the scenes. We think we know how a credit card works. You stick this plastic thing in, and somehow they get paid, and it gets taken out of your account, but it's kind of the same thing as Bitcoin. They don't really have to know exactly how it works through the Swift system and where all the fees go and all that for you to know that it works. So that's going to be a great show. And then on Fridays, I have my happy hour with my buddy Clint Westwood, and he's just somebody that I met through meetups that we've just clicked. I'm pretty sure we were friends in a past life. And we kind of do a rehash of the week and catch up and see what's going on. He's really brilliant, and he has a lot of knowledge in history and literature, and so he shares a lot of that on Fridays. So that's kind of what we're moving to. We're moving to a new platform called Flix.net, and eventually it'll be live streaming. At first it's going to be like a recording, re-recorded or pre-recorded, and then from that we'll kind of eventually possibly move to a live stream. But there's community on there, a community opportunity, so you can chat, leave comments, all that. And I get a lot of pushback from YouTube. I get a lot of my videos demonetized and or banned, or they'll put 16 commercials in my video to try to get people not to watch. So I'm really looking for that other opportunity.
I've had a lot of weird YouTube stuff like that lately, it seems like. I don't know what they're doing with their ads, but they're messing with stuff.
Did you watch the hearing on big tech?
No, I have not. No.
Oh my gosh, go watch it. It's very telling. They're admittedly talking about what things they're working on already: quantum computing, AI, all this stuff, like health solutions. Like, it's pretty telling what's going on there. So anyway, something to watch and have some critical thinking about.
I just wanted to say I enjoy both of your guys' channels. I think you both have what I would say is like a whole channel. Like, you guys don't have just one program that you hammer again and again. You guys have several areas that you can key in on throughout the week, and I think that's special to have.
Thanks. Yeah, I forgot. I also do a podcast with Hotep Jesus on Wednesday nights talking about love and marriage. That's not on my channel, so kind of like, and I skipped last week because I was on vacation. But it's a lot of fun because we get to talk about some political stuff, but mostly like relationships and like our opinions and thoughts and of different things. And I have that to where people can watch it on my channel if they want as well. But it's just a good thing because I love crypto, but I like to kind of think outside the box as well and talk about things that that are important, and the nuclear family and how important, a strong male figure is and that type of stuff. So
yeah, your shows with Hotep are a blast.
Yeah,
go watch.
you have to watch one. The last one was kind of heavy. I talked about some pretty heavy stuff on the last one, but we get into just, he's a free thinker, and he provides lots of solutions to different things that are going on. So it's just really cool to listen to him, and then I get to put my opinion in there and talk about stuff that's not necessarily crypto related. So it's nice. It's a nice little break because I love crypto, but at the end of the day, like, relationships are part of life. You have all different types of relationships with different people, and they vary. So,
and it's the only part we get to take with us.
Exactly.
So it's the good stuff.
Now for some more good stuff. Was crypto your first investment? And why would you suggest to people that they should invest their money?
Do you want to go, Lisa, or you want me to go?
Knock it out.
So crypto was not my first investment. I was investing in a 401k when I was like 20 because my company, they matched, and my mom was like, you should do that. And I had no idea I didn't know too much about it. Another thing that I've invested in is like handbags and different stuff like that. And that always, yeah, because I used to flip designer clothing, use designer clothing. That's how I paid for community college when I was, working a minimum wage job. So that helped a lot with my schooling. I think I paid for a vacation with it, but I did all my stuff on eBay. So I have like some bags and stuff. I'm a designer handbag person. I love to have them, but Bitcoin wasn't my first investment. Well, I actually invested, I guess the house I live in is an investment because we bought that. So, but I think that Bitcoin is a good invest, or not necessarily Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a good investment because I do think it's kind of similar to digital gold, and I think it will end up holding its value in the long run. Yes, we do have a lot of different altcoins, and those could be good investments as well for long term if you're not actively trading them. But you really do have to do your own research and kind of see if it fits and aligns with what you're doing. Kind of pay attention to the teams, because a lot of these projects in crypto, they're startups and they're comprised of young people, which is absolutely amazing. But most startups do fail. So that's just my opinion on it. And I think like me personally, I have a savings account for my daughter, and she's got Bitcoin on there for when she does turn 18. And I took all the money from her savings account. I was putting away all the fiat, and I tossed it into Bitcoin. And I says, you know what? If this goes to $1 million, great. And if it goes to zero, that's fine too, because it was an investment.
That's a great attitude to have about it. I have a little strange history with mine. I was in a really controlling and abusive marriage for 20 years. And so I had no access to any of our money. So then I was almost 40 and single and had 5 kiddos and trying to figure things out. And so until, I guess, if you count buying the house, when I bought my house, that would be my first investment. But after that, I really was just in a survival mode. My ex was a financial investment advisor. And so I never wanted to look at anything like that. Thankfully, my mom talked to my now husband and I about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and shared that with us in 2017. And so that really just took me right down the rabbit hole. So I think that cryptocurrencies are a great investment. We also really think silver has a bright, shining future. And you guys can see what's happening with gold right now. We know silver's so suppressed, and silver has even more use cases than gold. So that's where I think silver's a really great value. But I think Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, is the money of the future. So although I really enjoy investing in it right now, I think that, I hear people go, oh my gosh, I wish I had gotten in at this or that. I think getting in at any point until we get to that future where we're actually using it mainstream is going to be a point where you're going to be grateful that you got in and
Yes,
to cryptocurrency.
I completely agree with that. Wendy and me were talking before we started recording this, and it's still too difficult to use for the most part. For the normal person, they aren't going to take the time to learn how to send the transaction or find it in their wallet, or
There are things coming though, like the Divi project has that texting ability, which I think is going to be huge. I know one of the biggest things that I find when I try to get new people into cryptocurrency, the minute I say download this wallet, and they'll maybe do that, and then I go, okay, now write down these 12 words and keep it in a safe place, and they're like, yeah, I'll do it later. Like they can't really be bothered with that. And so where Divi, you can literally text it to them, and then their text stream is their wallet. They can write, I think it's help or something like that, and it gives them all like a menu of codes of how to send it, receive it, check your balances. So I kind of see that as a real jump for adoption and way of the future.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I like projects that make stuff simple, like, right? Because right now it's still very, very, very hard to use cryptocurrency, and like just the seed phrase alone is a big turnoff for a lot of people. Like my mom, when I talked to her about it, she's just like, oh, I don't want to be bothered with it. And I'm trying to convince her, I'm trying to, I was trying to get her to buy the bottom at like 3 to 4K, and she just wouldn't do it. And I tried to get her to buy some at like 7K, she wouldn't do it. Tried to get her to buy some at 9K, she wouldn't do it. And now we're kissing 12K right now. So
Wow. Mom, listen to your daughter.
No, my mom is really good. She's just very stubborn with a lot of things. She's the type of person that likes to figure it out herself. So she's a very free thinker. That's probably where I get it from.
That's probably benefited her a lot though over her life.
Yeah.
As well.
Yes and no, but
can you explain why crypto is the future?
So I think crypto is the future is because we're getting rid of money. We have a coin shortage. You're not allowed, due to CV, we're not allowed to pay with paper money at many places, which is ridiculous. Um, that's a whole nother topic for me. But they're really just getting away from physical money. We've been using credit cards and debit cards for God knows how long on your phone. You have Apple Pay, or you have Samsung Pay, you've got PayPal. You literally can do everything from your phone. So why actually physically handle money? Money is dirty in general. Me personally, I do like to have something tangible to touch. But they're the way that technology is moving, they're just kind of getting rid of money, like that physical money.
I concur. I mean, I think that we're going to a digital dollar. I know anytime I have a babysitter come over, I think it's the transition. I can't remember who said it, that my parents owned gold and didn't have credit cards or something like that, or digital money. And I have a little gold and I use digital money, and my children will just use digital money. It's kind of like that 3-generation transition, and that, it's just happening. We're moving there. So if I have a babysitter come over and I try to pay her dirty fiat, they're like, can you give me, like, can you just cash at me, or can you just Venmo me?
Yeah.
How they buy everything now. And especially with so many people being so involved with gaming systems, which I'm not a gamer. I have a little resentment towards gaming. I think a divorce decree should come in every box, because people get sucked into it and spend so much time, unless you can do it with your significant other, I guess. But those, that in that world that we're really moving towards, like I said earlier, with big tech talking about AI and the quantum computing and all that, we're moving into that world more and more. And in that world, you can't use dirty fiat, you can't use gold and silver, you have to use digital money. So I think we're right there.
I agree with both you guys. Whenever you have, all countries compete with one another. So whenever you have China, testing their digital yuan, if you're the United States, you're gonna have to compete with that somehow. So, you're gonna have to adopt that same kind of system. And
Yeah.
Well, I have a whole series on it on my channel, I think 3 or 4 episodes, but about the US digital dollar, because it's happening. A lot of people do think that CV is one of the reasons why this whole thing with CV happened, was to kind of push this initiative, because China has been, their president announced that they're bullish on blockchain, not Bitcoin, of course, because they want to make their own currency. So who knows if that's, I'm a little bit of a tinfoil hat person. So, but who knows if that's the reason why, is because whoever can come out with the first digital currency and make it sustainable, they're essentially control the world, if you think about it. But that's just my opinion.
Well, it's already happening. The U.S. Arab Emirates and what's the other country? They came up with a digital currency that they were settling debts with, amongst countries. And then the U.S. Treasury has come up with a digital USDT. So we're right there.
Yeah, it's getting close. I think this next part of this stimulus package too, they wanted to introduce. They wanted to make have set up Fed accounts for everyone, for that $1,200. But then the government said no, we're not going to do it. But eventually they're going to do it. And what they plan to do, and what I've heard, is they're going to be giving people X amount of dollars every month, and to access it, you have to have a Fed account. So every United States citizen will have a Fed account, which, if you kind of want to look at it from, if you want to play this card, because I do believe that a lot of the social programs that we have in the United States, they are abused heavily by a lot of people that commit fraud. When I worked in healthcare, the stuff that I would see was absolutely crazy. So it's a good way to monitor what people are spending their money on, and make sure they're not spending their money on things that they're not supposed to have, like drugs or alcohol or cigarettes. Because with welfare, you can, or food stamps, you actually have an option to pull money out, which that's fine. People can do what they want, but they're using that money to not buy food, to buy like food stamps and cigarettes and gamble. Because if you notice, every liquor store always has that, has lottery machines in there and scratchers, and it's always in those types of places in low income areas. And it's kind of, I believe everybody has free will to do whatever they want to do, but it's like when you putting something like that there with somebody that has an addictive personality, it's not really helpful. But so that's only my thoughts about like the Fed account, is to kind of monitor what people are spending their stuff on. Because at the end of the day, the money's to put to have them eat healthy and to eat. And I mean, I'm not here to monitor what somebody's eating, but they probably shouldn't be drinking or smoking if they got health problems, right?
Yeah, or young children to feed,
Exactly.
Yeah, especially that. Yeah.
System, right? I mean, I have um, fostered and adopted kiddos, and with that, the state gives you like a subsidy payment that's pretty minimal, but they have that transaction with you. And the way it happens and the way that all this unemployment stuff is happening is the same way they did our adoption and foster care subsidy. And so they send you a physical card, but then you can almost immediately create an automatic debit. So like, I don't even know where the card is, to be honest, but the adoption subsidy automatically goes into an account that we have for Canon. And then to spend it, you could go to an ATM with a card. We just haven't ever done that. But once it's in the bank account, well, then you use your mobile app and you can spend on it. And so the unemployment is happening the same way. They're sending people a physical card, which then they can link to their bank account and have an automatic withdrawal and have digital touchless payments. So that's why I'm way more of a tin hat probably than Wendy. I don't know, maybe then she will admit, but I think it's happening. I think that's part of the NESARA. I think they're going to have these payments come to us, and that's going to be the method of making it happen. There was something people always say, well, what about the older people that won't even use a smartphone, whatever? And I go back to my friend Drew has a story about he's probably, I don't know, mid-60s or so. So his mother-in-law is significantly older than him, and he was telling her about this telehealth app, and they're going to send you this kit, and you're going to have an iPad, and you have to check in, and you're going to have to do your blood pressure, and it sends all the information to your doctor, and if you need to call your doctor, you just touch this iPad and a phone comes up and you talk to your doctor. And she's like, oh, I'm not doing that. And he goes, well, you're going to have to. And
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's a scary part, because when I worked in healthcare, my clients, some of them were young, but a lot of them had mental issues from HIV/AIDS and from the medication, because a lot of them had extreme trauma. A lot of people don't realize, but just because you're diagnosed with HIV/AIDS, you have that ailment, but you also have a lot of other issues. A lot of my clients had extreme trauma, and a lot of them had mental issues, and they were just not even able to come pick their meds up on a monthly basis. If I didn't call them every month or remind them, hey, we got to do your ADAP, we got to do your Medi-Cal, we got to do this, they wouldn't get their medication. They wouldn't go see their doctor, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And a lot of it was due to mental health stuff.
That's telehealth. And they did a study, I think in Alabama, and it actually increased the longevity of people and their healthcare because it was automated. So they don't get their meds, they're shipped to them, and they're in a thing where they can somehow monitor or tell when they took their meds, if they took them. If they didn't, then they get a call, then the nurse or doctor gets a notification, they check in with them. If they don't get a response, they send someone to the house. Like it's wild. But anyway, back to my point, I just said that he said, she was like, well, I'm not doing that and whatever. And he goes, well, if you don't, then, and you go to the ER without trying to at least contact your doctor first, then they're not going to pay for your ER visit.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
What are you going to do? And she said, well, I guess I'm going to learn how to use that thing.
Right. But it's like, you still have those, and I'm just thinking of myself, because when I was in healthcare, you have these cases of people that are very stubborn. They're not mentally well enough to do that, where they physically or mentally, they won't do it. Like they just won't do it. Like,
yeah, that's caseworkers, I would think, just like now when there's somebody that's having those problems in the hospital or in whatever, there's social workers involved or caseworkers involved, that would be some kind of bridge, or they'd create some support. I don't think any solution is perfect.
Right. My experience from healthcare and the way that a lot of my clients were treated, it was just, they were kind of thrown out like in the open, and they had to do a lot of things themselves, and I had to help them with a lot of stuff. And that wasn't even part of my job. I just did it because we had numbers that we had to meet, and like for retention. And I couldn't let somebody that had like a lifelong illness just kind of be out on their own. And even the social workers that were present, a lot of them are scared to get fired from their jobs, so they don't really speak up. They just kind of do the minimum to kind of get by. So I've seen the ugly, really, really ugly part of healthcare, so I kind of know how it works. And of course the things that I'm bringing up, they're probably like outlier stuff, but I do have to talk about it because to me it's important. Like I always it's important for me to kind of speak up for the underdogs and for the people that are not capable of doing it. So that's why I'm very adamant about it and not leaving anybody behind in that sense.
Yeah, every life matters. So I think that's great that you're looking out for those that are really struggling in those systems and can't speak up for themselves.
Thank you, Wendy.
Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Good.
All right. So since COVID has started, sports were canceled, so there wasn't any sports betting. And you had figures like Dave Portnoy coming into the mix, right? And then you have TikTok pumping Dogecoin. We've got like 4 times as many people onboarding on Robinhood within a month as there normally would be. So we've got a lot of new traders and investors entering the space. At the same time, you have like Twitter scams and YouTube scams happening. So how do you guys feel about all these new traders entering the space? And at the same time, there's like this social media trying to influence them to do bad things. Like, is there anything these people should be trying to do?
It's kind of hard because I on my channel, people still call me a scammer. So, and I really just kind of put out not necessarily, yeah, I put out a lot of facts and a lot of really helpful information. So people are going to do what they want to do. There's a lot to trade. Like that's great that these people are making great amounts of money on like Uniswap and on Robinhood and stuff, but this is a bull market. Well, I don't want to call it a bull market for stocks necessarily, because I feel like they're being heavily manipulated, but we're seeing a lot of bullish action. Trading in a bull market, or when you're seeing a lot of positive price action, is very, very different when you're trading in a bear market where you're seeing bearish price action. You get some really gnarly pullbacks. So I think really, unfortunately, a lot of people are really going to have to learn for their own. Like we can do the most that we can to kind of educate them. But at the end of the day, some people are just, they will choose to listen to you or choose not to.
I think that's the freedom of cryptocurrency. And I mean, I think gives you a little skin in the game. I got scammed. I bought into the massive adoption thing and gave him $500 a Bitcoin and have yet to hear from him.
I did too.
Yeah. And then I found him on his real estate. Now he's doing some real estate thing, and he asked me to please not message him on there or talk to him on there, because I guess he's trying to scam a bunch of people in real estate next. I don't know. But to me, it's kind of like I hear about all these scams and this and that. And so I got a little skin in the game. I got a little smarter. I think that maybe everybody has to go through that. I don't know. There's maybe that learning curve. And I think a lot of cryptocurrency is self-responsibility, whether it's writing down your seed phrase or not getting scammed or doing your research on a project before you put money into it. And so it's kind of, it'll be a better world when everybody does have that self-responsibility. But it's one of those things, like you can choose freedom, but then you have to protect yourself. And if you want to be part of the system and just get your check and nod your head and live in your crappy apartment the government wants to give you and not go get a job, then you can do that too, if that's your choice, But I think a lot of us are in crypto because we want freedom and we're okay with protecting ourselves and understand that responsibility that comes with that.
I agree.
I know I've got a friend, his birthday was yesterday, and so I'm gifting him some Bitcoin on Litecoin and I'm gonna have to go through the process of setting him up a wallet and writing down a seed phrase and explaining it all to him. But this is something I see being in the future, and he's my friend, so I feel as his friend I need to share this with him and show him why this is better.
Yeah, I think one of the best things you can do, we give our kiddos cryptocurrency, give Litecoin specifically every Christmas. And the girls have all kept it, the boys got rid of it. And it's been really interesting to watch it grow over the last couple of years and shrink and grow. And my daughter Carly, her boyfriend now, they come over once a week and we have dinner, and he was so excited. He's like, I just bought some more Bitcoin. It's like, I did it through my Cash App so I can just watch it on my phone, because he's watching this price volatility and all this. And I thought, that's a great way to help people get in. Like, you don't have to know how it works. You don't have to, yes, you should read the white paper, but you don't have to. If you want to just buy some Bitcoin on your Cash App and start watching it so that you can kind of understand, because I think when you are in the old currency system, you don't even understand price volatility unless you're in stocks or some kind of trading outside of that. So to understand that you could have a currency that the value changes at any moment is quite an education in itself. And then they can start seeing where, oh, this has potential to go one way or the other. And I think that's a great way to just kind of jump in and start seeing it move and kind of learn about it.
So if I was somebody new entering crypto, who would you suggest I go watch on YouTube, or is there somebody I should follow on Twitter?
This girl.
Thank you. I don't know. That's a tough one. To be honest with you, what I would do, I don't know if Twitter is a really great place for brand new people, especially in a bull market, just because everybody is going absolutely crazy right now. Because
there's kind of like levels of Twitter also.
Yeah. So I would tell them not to go on Twitter right yet, just because like you get the FOMO on Twitter. You're seeing all these traders, all these big accounts like talking about stuff, and they're making money, and that's fine, and they're posting their trades and whatever they're doing, and that's amazing. But a lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of aspects to it. So there's a lot of things a lot of people don't understand to kind of pay attention to. As far as one person to kind of follow, it kind of depends. I would not say stick to one person. I would say to check out multiple different people. What I do all the time, if I'm confused about something, I'll Google, like, what is this? Like, what is blockchain, and what is mining, or what is POW, what is POS, just stuff like that. And the reason why you want to do that is because you're going to pull up a lot of different people, and you're going to find people that are able to explain things the way you can understand it. So I think that that's like a good way to go, instead of just shilling them one person. And the reason why is because, like, one day maybe I'm going to explain something and you're not going to get it, but then you'll go to Lisa's channel and you really like the way she explained it. But then but then you have another question. So you Google and Lisa pops up and you didn't like the way she explained it, didn't resonate with you, but then you go to my channel, you like the way I explain it. So it can kind of vary. So that's why I say, like, Google things and check out a lot of different content creators stuff, and that way. That's just me. That's the way I run my show. When people got questions for me, as I'll go and I'll ask different content creators, do you have something on this? And I'll send them like 2 or 3 things.
Yeah, I always start out with, just because the language, there's such a language barrier. So I tell them to go watch Banking on Bitcoin on Netflix, just to start hearing some of the language and the different words that are used in this space. And then I tell them to go check out Andreas Antonopoulos, Bitcoin for Beginners. I think he does a great job really simplifying it and talking about how Bitcoin works, why Bitcoin works. So kind of from there, then, you go into, then if they're interested in trading, of course you watch Wendy O, and then follow Pomp. I think he brings great content to the space as well. And then also following like the creators, or the Litecoin Foundation is always putting out great information about, what if it's a project you're interested in, make sure you follow their foundation or the project, so that you're getting that information as it's growing and learning. So that's kind of my go-to.
I'd just like to add that I think if you're interested in crypto, check in the major cities near you if there's anybody doing crypto meetups or any kind of I know Blockchain in the Berg is doing a virtual meetup at the end of the month with creator of Mimblewimble. It's working on the code for Litecoin. I know they're having a virtual meetup at the end of the month. So if you are interested in crypto, just see if there's anybody doing meetups already in your area. Definitely.
I agree with that. I was doing a lot of meetups and then COVID happened and I wanted to do one like mid-July and people are like, it's too soon, but I'm thinking I might do one mid-August or maybe mid-September or maybe after elections. I think that'll be safe. I think COVID will probably mysteriously disappear.
Away. Yeah. We'll be gone by then. I had a really weird experience at a meetup here because I was, talking to all my crypto friends and everything's so friendly and exciting. And one of the things I love best about crypto is that like the more people that are in it, like the more channels we have, the better it is for crypto. The more people that are involved in it, the better it is for crypto. So you just want to be building each other up all the time. And then I went to this meetup here in Edmond and the guys were like super technical and they just were like, can you give me the definition of proof of stake? Do you know what a smart contract is? And I was like, is there a test to be here? Like I came and to meet people that were
I would have been so upset. I would have been so pissed. That's why at my meetups, I'm like, go talk to this person. This person can help you. Like, because when they put you on the spot like that, it's like so awkward,
And I was just learning. That's why I went, was I wanted to learn more. And so I was just like, so I haven't been back, but I go to all of Bitcoin bin meetups and or try to, and go to any meetups that like where there's community there too. Cause I think that's one of the strongest things about cryptocurrency is that a lot of times the reason a coin is valuable is because there's community behind it.
Right.
And so to build those communities is what I really like to do and be a part of.
And I think also what's great about these meetups is you do have all these different kinds of people within the community. And so like Wendy is saying, maybe I don't know how to explain a blockchain or proof of stake, but this person over here does, and they're kind, friendly, and definitely willing to talk to you.
Yeah. Our meetups are the best. I just had a bad experience with my friend.
I would have been pissed too. I did a technical analysis meetup. I used to do TA basics, and it was just like a group of us would get together, and this guy started asking me like really like crazy questions, and I was like, I've only been trading for less than a year. I was like, there's a lot of people here that can help answer your questions. I was like, it's specifically stated this is for beginners. We're literally talking about support and resistances, like simple things. I was just like, you're here to troll me.
Oh, he was trying to what is it called with comedians heckling you?
I was just like, whatever. I gave him the explanations, but I'm like, this is so weird. Like no one else here is going to understand and you're kind of being disruptive.
Yeah. Well, there's some of that.
Yeah.
I'd just like to give a shout out before the end of this video to JMac and Polly P for supporting me and always pushing me forward to keep working within crypto. I also would like to give a big shout out to Clint Westwood. He had a great meetup this past weekend. It would have been last weekend, but it was a wonderful event, and I appreciate him and Mitch Carpentry on Twitter. They did a great job putting that event together and all the construction that they did at last minute. I mean, that was amazing.
And the crypto fire with the did you get your NFT?
Yeah. They professor sent it to me, but yes, I did get that. Yeah. One of a kind NFT. Westwood 2020.
When do you have to come to the next one?
I know. Once everything settles down, I'm planning on doing traveling. I got a lot of places I got to go to, so I'm hyped.
Good.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you both coming on here. I've got plenty more questions. Hopefully we can come back and do this again sometime.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And Lisa, it was a pleasure to hang out with you again. And next time we're at the same place. We're gonna set some girl time aside.
Sure, definitely. I adore you and I love watching your channel. I love learning more and more about it. Like I said, I'm not a trader. It's really intimidating, but I feel like I can understand a lot of what you explain on there. And
thank you.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate you and I'm so excited for your channel. Yes. And keep up the great work. You're a beautiful soul and I'm great to know you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Wendy. if is there any place that anybody can check out what you guys do? Any social media you guys would like to show?
I am on every social media platform possible. Everything is at Crypto Wendy O. See, that's where you can find me.
And I'm at Lisa Mighty Davis on Twitter. And if you check out YouTube, I'm Litecoin Lisa. And pretty soon we'll be on Flix, FLIXX.net, and have our show on there too. So
Thank you so much, guys. I do appreciate your time. If anybody would like to contact me on Twitter, I am at soul070_. You can also find my Substack. It's where I post a lot of things that I write. That is soul070.substack.com. And I also just opened a new website. That is aliseir.com, ALISEIR.com. Again, guys, I thank you for your time, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day.
Awesome. Have a good evening, guys.